Cheers.
Cheers.
Glad the rain didn't stop us.
No, likewise. It's actually part of the mood.
No, it definitely is,
Yeah.
especially for tonight.
Yeah.
So get this thing right up in there. You got to talk right up in it.
Okay.
You can move that around all you want, but you got to talk right up in it.
Okay, what about hands on, hands off?
That's kind of up to you. I tend to be a hands-on person when I'm not paying attention, hands-off when I am.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Yeah, do your best.
Feel free to correct me.
I will. Hector, thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking to me.
No, thank you for having me.
Of course, man.
It's
of course.
long overdue.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Having one of these recorded. I've had many conversations with you. It's about the ones on tape. You know, it's a different story.
Right. Tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it falls on a Friday, which is, tradition for you and I.
That's how we've had our friendship renaissance, these Friday nights.
That's
you
right.
know? Just so happened to work out that way. Hector and I have been buds a really long time, since we were, I don't know, third grade or something, right?
Third grade sounds right. Sounds great. Grew up probably about a mile and a half away from here. Went to school.
Not too far. Yeah.
Went to school.
Chicago, in case anyone's wondering.
Down the street.
Yeah.
You can actually see our elementary school.
We'll leave the details from here on out. People can Google Maps the location if they want to get a little closer.
That's right.
That'll be up to them.
That's right.
Yeah. So Hector, you've had a busy week. You've had a busy day. You were erecting something.
Yeah.
Correct. You were constructing.
It's been hectic.
Good hectic though, right? You're getting good cool stuff done.
Good hectic. Just busy. Just man, I tend to wait till the last minute for a lot of critical details, which kind of kicks me in the butt a lot. But yes, just been a hectic week. I have a huge photo shoot on Sunday. Kind of a big deal, so we're kind of getting everything ready. I'm directing it, producing it, and filming as well.
So that's some serious stuff. Yeah.
So
a lot of different roles.
So yeah, it can get overwhelming and stressful.
But we're gonna talk about the good parts of it, though.
Right.
Not just the scary critical details.
Okay.
Like you're telling me.
Yeah.
Not just these scary critical details.
It's a big part of it. It's that's why. You don't see a lot of guys in my position producing, 6-7 shoots a year. They'll produce 3 or 4 because they're taxing and they take time, and you got to prep and and execution and.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah, the mental burden of it all, especially when you're doing multiple roles like you are.
Correct.
Where it's not just you're passing stuff off or you're watering things down, where you're the one who's pulling the strings on a lot of different tasks.
Correct.
That's tough.
Correct.
Writer, producer, director, those kind of projects where like someone's got 14 different notepads, 6 different
janitor,
hats.
right? I'm sweeping after.
I'm the janitor in this place.
Man,
I can't tell you how many times I brought beer cans from this garage into my house, out to the recycling.
Yeah, jeez,
It's a big part of the production.
Absolutely.
Got to keep people lubricated. Speaking of, cheers.
Absolutely.
It is Friday night, so we're having a good time, making sure we all relax, enjoy one another's company.
Absolutely.
Happen to have these tiny glasses we can pour a little whiskey in. But finally finding some of the good in all the work throughout the week.
Yeah, yes.
But lots to be excited about. We're at 2020 now, going into a new decade, right?
2020.
You got to be psyched about that.
2020. New year, big year. But I'm always setting goals for myself. Weekly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. So when New Year comes around and all the family are like, "Oh, what are your plans for New Year?" I'm like, it's the same thing I've been doing, the whole year, right? Try to get better every day, not just because it's the new start of a new calendar year.
How do you actually answer that though? It's like, "Oh, Hector, do you have a New Year's resolution?" Do you just say, "Come on, take a look"?
No.
Take a look.
I try not to. No.
Just take a look at what I've been doing.
You know what? Actually, not too many people asked me that this year.
It's because they've been looking.
Right, because they
can tell. They're like, shit, I'm not asking this guy what else he's doing. He's doing it all. So what's the point?
Oh, man.
What's even the point of it?
Right.
No, but you're doing something where you're building something. You're not just shooting something, a phenomenon that's happening in nature. You're not just having actors come in. You're erecting a giant container. We don't have to go into specifics if you don't want. I know it's
we could go into specifics because I'm not sure how soon you're uploading.
I'll try to get this out as soon as I can.
Okay.
I'm gonna say a week at the soonest.
Okay.
If I had to give you a time frame.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, we won't show any visuals, but yeah, we're producing. I'm from Chicago. The inspiration for this shoot came from the Morton salt container. I just recently started doing a lot of work in New York. And I'm launching this big creative agency, and I wanted to just do it here back home in Chicago.
That's great.
everyone that I've worked with here initially, like the first fashion in this production, I'm working with the first fashion designer I've ever worked with. I'm working with the first hairstylist I've ever worked with. So it's like really homey production,
That's
and then
great.
Morton Salt, they're from Chicago, and just trying to bring that to life.
I love hometown shit. I think everyone who's been on this podcast so far is from this area, from Chicago.
I'm stoked.
So start with the roots.
Absolutely.
Start from the beginning.
Absolutely. So.
But that's great. You haven't worked with all these people again since, or just it just so happens to have worked out that way?
You know what? I haven't worked with them in a long time. It's probably been I'd say close to a year since I've seen everybody, and then collectively, man, I don't think I've had this roster ever together. So I'm excited. I have like my best makeup artist, our best hairstylist, the best photographer here in Chicago. So it's great, man.
We both love video shit, but like you like elements of design and production that I don't really know much about, like fashion, like hair, like makeup. That sort of stuff I'm pretty clueless on. Like I love audio, and I have recorded audio in ways in the past that I don't know if you have, doing band stuff, but you have this like fashion and makeup and design, knowledge that I really, again, just a total guppy total greenhorn.
It's just being meticulous about the whole shoot. Trying to control everything, and my mother is a hairstylist, right? And
she's had a salon.
Yeah, she's
had
a salon,
life.
Right? She's had a salon, so like I've been around hair and beauty since we were kids, right? Going to beauty shows, and that's kind of how a lot of this kind of transpired, right? I wanted to rebuild my mother's salon, right? So I needed to produce content for her, so I needed to get familiar with what beauty was, what the trends were. And that's how I started filming, right? I started producing content for her, right? Getting a photographer every weekend to take photos wasn't financially smart decision, so...
You had to be the photographer.
So I had to be the photographer.
And the janitor.
I had to learn how to use exactly. So I had to learn how to use the camera. I had to learn what an ombre was, and how, and everything else. So
wait. Wanted to help out your mom's salon initiatives. That's what started the whole video thing mainly?
Yeah. That was...
Because you're big into video now. It's like your main thing.
Yeah, it is. And I'm kind of actually going away from... I'm going back to it now, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But I like to kind of be behind the scenes and kind of put things together, because that in itself is a handful. Trying to do that and then manage the camera too is like a whole nother... Oh my gosh. Because that's where I'm at now, right? I'm a day before... I'm less than 48 hours before the biggest shoot of my career, and I still haven't even got ready, wrote down what my shot list is, right?
I mean, for what it's worth, I could only assume that what kind of practice you're getting from being in this environment here. We got 3 cameras set up. So you got this basically as your shot blocking practice.
Right.
You're getting in the mental mindset now how to set everything up, how to get everyone talking, looking right.
Absolutely. And a good break. Sometimes you just need to step away and just kind of relax, gather yourself, and mentally prep, so.
Absolutely. You've done a good job of that this year. You've been going all over the place, going all around the world.
I'm trying to explore. I love to explore as much as possible, and network right now. I'm not married. I don't have kids, so it's a great I'm young, I'm financially responsible, so I'm able to do these things and travel as much as I can, and networking is huge. It's everything, so.
It is. And doesn't it blow your mind how it was impossible to do the kind of traveling you're doing even like 50 years ago?
Yeah.
From a financial standpoint, from a practical standpoint, without Airbnb, without all these systems that make it super easy to connect anywhere.
Right. And not only the traveling, but just the connecting with people, being able to connect with, complete strangers, through our iPhone, right?
Yeah, the social media.
Right. That's something so powerful. You can get in contact with anybody. Fortune 500 companies, CEOs, whatever it is.
Hector, you can get in touch with anyone. You got to show me these skills. That's not something I know about.
No, it's just...
I can maybe get in touch with Wendy's corporate account, get a snarky tweet back from them.
Just an email away. Everyone's just an email away, so.
Seems crazy.
So, yeah, it's amazing.
But you're fearless in that way. You like to reach out to people and make connections.
Absolutely.
You believe in your ideas.
Absolutely. If I have a great idea and I feel like we can both benefit from it, or it's worth you reading it, then I'm going to send it to you, so, or worth your time, so.
And honestly, I've had great interactions online as I've posted more and become more comfortable leaving some sort of online digital footprint. I've had, great interactions I never would have thought possible. People commenting ideas. I post a lot of plant stuff, so people just posting like, oh, that's that plant name,
Right.
you know, just like giving information.
Right.
Like, this is insane.
Right.
I'm just tapping into some worldwide audience. People are looking at my plants and saying, oh yeah, you have this plant, you have that plant.
Right.
Like getting people to chirp and chime in when convenient.
Absolutely. And I'm not like a huge, 100,000 follower guy. I'm just a small local guy, but I still get a crazy amount of support from complete strangers. Just message me, hey, love your stuff, or let me know when you're in town. Everything. And not switching gears, but the crew that I'm working with this weekend, everyone I've met has been from the internet. Right. Everyone there I've met online, minus one guy who I met in an export, but nonetheless, the balance of them I met through the internet, and it's amazing. We become great friends. We travel together. A handful of them went to Puerto Rico with me a couple months ago.
That's great.
So it's like, man, the internet has definitely connected.
From the DM to Puerto Rico.
From the DM to Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, except the 2% of the people that were from export
Right.
that you met by an old Bowflex.
Right, that's
at the export. Or maybe actually no. Time out. Tell me how he's involved with your production. I'm going to tell you where you met him in export.
That's
So what is he involved? Like, is he a photographer?
He's a hairstylist.
Sound guy.
He's the hairstylist.
Shit, that doesn't help me. Okay, so actually hold up. Hair guy, export. Which export?
Lakeview Export umbrella.
Lakeview Export. If you're in Chicago,
yeah.
The gears are turning right now. People are trying to come up, help me out.
Which export? There's 2 exports in Lakeview.
You saw this guy on the treadmill.
I did not see the guy on the treadmill.
Fuck. Where was he at?
I was actually.
What was he doing? Were you working out? Was he pumping iron? What was happening?
No. I was actually filming. I was filming. I had just bought a camera maybe like 2-3 months before this.
You were filming someone work out.
I was filming someone work out.
Oh, okay.
I had like these crazy
wrinkle.
Right.
I thought you were doing on the leg press or something.
No. None of that. No.
Okay. Well, so he saw you in action working out.
He saw me in action filming.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
So,
okay.
Nothing too spectacular. But
Was he leaving his workout? Coming to his workout? Did you see sweat from the brow or what?
No. He was having a shake at the protein bar. Having a shake at the protein bar.
Trying to find hair clients.
Right. Just hanging out. It was like a Sunday, 8 o'clock.
This protein's great for your hair follicles.
It is.
You just like starting conversations that way. Keratin really gets assisted with these amino acids. No doubt about it. Keratin shooting through your skull.
I think his icebreaker was something like, "Hey, you ever film hair or beauty or something along those lines?" But,
hey, you want to make me some money?
Right. Exactly.
Let's do some business. That's cool. So you've always been a good connector.
So
people down the block, we grew up like a block away, me and you. So I got to see your neighborhood, your community impact.
That's right.
Your grade school networking, of course, classroom to classroom. Always been skilled at that.
Man.
Always had that ability.
I just talk too much.
Honestly, great way to connect with people is just to keep it moving. Just to keep the ball in the air. Anything.
Yeah.
So I go to the weather, go to sports.
Right.
Just keep making reps. Keep trying.
Right.
Resolutions. Oh, what's your resolution? That's just me. That's just me keeping the ball in the air.
Right.
I'm just totally full of shit.
Right.
It's just all surface level.
Right.
It's just all surface level. No, I'm kidding. I try not to be too basic. Try not to make it too crazy here. But no, seriously, a big part of interaction, of connection, is just effort. If you're showing you're willing to put in the time and make the effort to try to move the lips, people will talk back.
I agree.
I think I've recorded now for like 12, 13 hours doing these podcasts. So I've definitely learned that.
Okay.
Just keep your mouth moving.
Right. Absolutely.
And the tape keeps rolling.
I like that.
And then you're in good shape. So no resolutions whatsoever. You're not cutting something. You're not adding something.
Nothing specific. Nothing specific that hadn't been planned the week before that, and not intentionally geared towards a New Year resolution. Now I'm excited for 2020 because I like to plan ahead. So like I plan 3 months out, 6 months out, 9 months out, right? Those short-term goals, and then there's those long-term goals. So I'm excited about a lot of the goals that I have set up for 2020. But
it's not necessarily a 2020 thing.
Correct. If it was 2021, I'd be excited about 2021. But yeah.
That's fine. You got to look at it any way you want. My birthday's actually days before New Year's. I'm the 28th.
Okay.
New Year's 31st, 3 days later. So, it feels like my birthday is New Year's. So every time
happy belated birthday.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
29?
Thank you. 29 again.
Right.
29 again. 31 actually.
31.
Finally 31.
That's right.
But actually, yours is in October, so not too far off. It's got a similar phenomenon where every time you round the corner, you're looking at a new year,
Correct.
a new you.
Right.
Ends up being kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
No, yeah, every reason to be. You keep getting better with age, as far as I'm concerned. Last couple of years, we've had these Fridays.
Man,
magical Fridays.
I try to. I try to get better. But so, what about yourself?
This year, I've been meditating more. I used to meditate more often.
Nice. That's right. We were talking
let that
about
go to the wayside. Pretty hardcore.
We were talking about that.
But meditating has been the main thing. Different elements of wellness as well. Trying to take care of myself, eat well. As you always, I think, reflect upon when it's cold and deathly outside.
Right.
And you have a lot of inside time. But meditation's been the main thing.
Nice. And what do you mean by meditation? What's involved?
I practiced transcendental meditation most often. So it's like mantra based. You use a word. It's basically like a mental placeholder.
Okay.
To focus your mind on a single thing.
Okay.
On a single element. In this word, an internal word.
Okay.
Or in this situation, some internal cue word. It's been good. I've done other type like Vipassana where you're focusing on the breath. It's all similar. You just have to have yourself focus in on something deeply.
Okay.
Deeply is not even the word. Just to have a singular focus.
Right.
Yeah. Can be light or deep. Take it or leave it sort of thing.
Right.
You ever get into it?
I've definitely worked, spent the last year, I'd say meditating, I guess. Yeah.
I think you mentioned something.
Yeah.
To me.
I don't know what the specific, if it's positive affirmations or meditation, but I've definitely spent a lot more time connecting with myself. And my mom's like super into all of this, positive affirmations. She's like really into these stones, and she's always, for the last
stones.
These last
the Rolling Stones or
no,
like gems,
no.
crystals?
She's like, I'm actually wearing one now, so it's like,
oh, get that thing out! Come on, flash it
here and like. So she has like all types of stones, and like she goes, with a group of people. They'll go travel the country, share these stones, dig up these stones, talk about the stones. And at first I was like, first I just kind of ignored it, and I wasn't around it enough to really take it in. And then she'd always give me stones for my birthday or for New Year's or for whatever it was, and I'd leave them on my desk. And
I'm learning what the Stones holidays are. Birthday, New Year's. Those are the ones we've been talking about.
No, right. So
times when you're reflecting.
Yeah, I
could use some stone.
I didn't think about them too much, but I'd say, I don't know, maybe 10 months ago I put one on and I started being more positive, right? Because I had got super, things had, I did a big shoot that went wrong, right? Like I failed. I completely failed. I failed the team, right? I failed to put the team in a position to succeed. So like I got super negative in myself, and those, and at that point I picked up the stone, I put it on, let me hold on to this thing and be a bit more positive. And when talking about positive affirmations, I feel like it's always been something I've always done subconsciously. I've just always done it.
I think people describe it a certain way, but often people do it all the time, even if you don't call it that sort of thing.
Right. So. Yes, I've been practicing that a little bit more, and
that's excellent, man.
And I feel like my power is like at an all-time high. And when I mean my power,
your positive power,
my positive power, or just connecting with one another. I think I talked to you about this, right? I'm thinking about James, and you text me. Happens all of the time.
Oh shit, you're calling me in the universe.
No, right.
You're sending me a universal page.
Right. And, I mean, you hear about it.
You're here tonight.
Right?
I mean, I don't know. I can't argue with that shit. I got you on the mic. So.
Right. So.
Well, you said 10 months ago you kind of came to this. How long was she giving you stones? How many birthdays was she pushing the product?
Man, it's been for years now. She's been doing this for years now. And if she sees this, she'd probably be like, Hector, it's been for 10 years, 15 years. It's been a while.
Okay.
So I started noticing them about 3-4 years ago, but she'd lay them. She'd come into my house. She'd put them in my desk or in the office room.
In your desk?
Yeah, she'd lay them on my desk.
Oh, time out. On or in?
She the most like random spot I found was like underneath my my desk chair in my office, in my home office at home.
Underneath the chair?
My mom, I'm telling you.
Like the cushion or
no,
on the ground?
No, like on the ground, directly underneath it. So I'd come home and I'd be like, what the hell is that?
Okay. That could have been like grounding you to the earth though, or something. Right?
I have no idea, but nonetheless, I felt good,
Yeah, man.
And
hey, listen, anytime you see remnants or reminders of your mother's love, you got to be feeling good. You know what I mean?
It's just digging deep inside and just having that vision, having that positivity inside. And now I just, I make sure I practice it and preach it to anyone who I find in the negative, in that negative space. It's like, man, we can all sit here and pick each other apart and focus on negatives, and all you're gonna do is sink yourself into that dark realm.
I'm with you. I agree.
So,
plus, I mean, never I think does one seem more douchey complaining and talking about, small complaints, the narcissism of small complaints.
Right.
It's never more annoying than when you're like looking at a geode and then hear someone talking about that.
Yeah, man.
You got those crystals shining back at you. It's a reminder of magic. It's like the Harry Potter movie. They're gonna like build a wand out of something that looks like those crystals. It's not just the phoenix feather, the dragon hairs. I don't know what the hell they use the Harry Potter wands for.
Right.
Balsam wood, whatever they're crafting those things out of. But when you have these beautiful objects, these artifacts that remind you of either something that was hard to obtain in the form of a crystal, or it just strictly shines light back in your eyes.
Right.
Just absolutely mimics a TV, flashing some sort of light into your eyes, numbing you out in that way, or elating you. I don't know. It's hard to be negative.
Right.
It is.
It is.
I'm glad you brought up crystals in positive affirmations, because like crystals are the ultimate positive affirmation.
Okay.
They just shine.
Right.
They're shining.
Right. No. Right.
You know what I mean?
For the most part, right? Yeah, they are.
I mean, so it reminds you to do the same yourself. It's kind of hard to get your mind off it.
Right.
Does your mom have any prized crystals? Does she have like a glass case or a crystal case with crystals inside?
I'm sure she does, but I wouldn't know where it is. I'm sure. She has a bunch. I mean, last time I went to her house, she had like, on the living room, she had like this case of, she was making necklaces, and I think I saw one that I liked, and I tried to grab from like a specific pile, and she's like, well, no, those aren't for you, or so I don't know if these are specific.
You got denied a crystal from your mom.
I don't know how they get broken out, but I'm sure she does.
There's ones you give your son Hector, and there's ones you don't give your son Hector.
She does have special ones put aside for me, to answer your question.
Time out. Like she's praying for you using those crystals, or like when she dies, you get those crystals?
No. Both. My mom's she's very, very, she's still in the church. She I think she goes out to the church twice a week.
Okay.
But then she I called her a hypocrite the other day, because she was being, she a lot of times she'll say, oh, well, I hope you do well, or I hope, she says hope a lot. And to me, the word hope, it's like, how about for somebody who preaches positive affirmations, how about go out there and kick some ass, or I know you're do well. Yeah, you're gonna do
you
great.
You will enjoy this.
Yeah, I go, Mom. I go, pick a side.
Hope leaves room for negativity.
I go, exactly. So
I hope you get this right.
Right.
I hope this goes well. I hope nothing fucks up.
I make sure to correct her every time she says that.
Oh God.
Because I go, Mom, you're being such a hypocrite at this point. I go, which one is it? Are you?
She's like, suck my crystal. Suck my crystal.
I hope you shut the hell up.
No, but I think language does play a big impact on how we think about ourselves, how we think about the world around us. If you're leaving room for something to happen, saying something like hope.
Yeah, I agree. Keep the negativity in 2019.
That's why it's and like. Also, too, framing things in terms of yourself versus like other people, and thinking about success, like do your best versus like go be champion or go be number one. It's a big difference. To have to be number one, you have to like dominate other people,
right? Or
you have to be aggressive or somehow like take other people over. But if you're just doing your best, that could include dominating other people or being number one, but it doesn't require that.
Or what's number one? I always ask people, like, when people say who's better, how do you define better or the best? Is he the best because he scored more points than the other guy? Is he the best because of his impact or his influence on people? What define? You have to define that, because, man, you and I have a different definition of what the best is. So let's get deep when people ask those questions, or at least I want to,
No, I agree.
Clear understanding of what you're expecting my answer to be based off.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of simple. Like humans rely on heuristics all the time, and we just need those patterns. So best is just highest number, like period. Either the most amount of money, the largest number of followers, the most games won, the most points scored. Right. Like it's just as simple as that. Okay. It's just like how many. And obviously this is relying on counting things for success that you can count, on things that are actually quantitative, you know, as opposed to like happiness, right? Because you can't count someone's happiness, and that's where it gets fucked up, right? Like we actually don't even think about happiness being a part of someone's success because you can't count it, right? You can't put a number to it, right? Have you played like games where you have like a happiness rating, like The Sims, where you have to like keep the happy score in a certain zone? Civilization, where like there's a happiness rating for the city that you're managing?
Not in a long time.
Okay.
You know, I used to sim back in the day, but it's been a long time where I actually was able to like understand and engage that, hey, there is a level for my happiness, and understand that and try to keep it wherever, you know, high or whatever. But
if you were going to quantify your own happiness, how do you think you would do that?
Right now?
Not like give the number of your happiness, but like what system would you use to track your own happiness or to measure it?
If I was to track my own happiness, it's a good one. Let me sip this coffee.
Sip that coffee. Here, I'm gonna throw some ideas at you while you're sipping. So obviously 1 to 100 gives you a lot of data points, you know, to be happy. And you're having some rough days, some 55s. You know, you're having some normal days like 67, 75s.
Well, I can't give
some stellar 92s.
Yeah, I can't give a number, but I could definitely say I'm the happiest I've ever been. You know,
at
31 years old, I'm the happiest, Hector has ever been. So,
well, that's great. How do you? Okay, let's start from here. How do you know that?
How do I know that?
Because then we can build the metric off of that.
That's right. I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question.
No, we're gonna get to it. We'll find the answer to it. So you feel like you're the happiest you've ever been. Do you feel like that's because you are the most intelligent you've ever been? Like you're the most capable person, and you have the ability, the potential for more happiness and more greatness?
I think that's definitely a factor in it.
Or is it just straight up completed projects?
It's just a combination of the things, you know, and obviously level of stress is in there as well, right? It's like let me backtrack a little bit. Let's can we rewind? We're gonna
cut. Man, happy people don't backtrack.
No, right, right. You're absolutely right.
Happy people are not supposed to be backtracking. Full steam ahead for the happy ones.
Grin, can we measure it by the level of my...
Hey, that's easy right there. Right. Smile with?
My smile.
Hell yeah. That'd be easy.
Man, well...
I've heard of happiness studies where they have participants and they text them throughout the day. Text us back 1 to 5 right now how happy you are.
Okay.
Just super easy number, 1 to 5. Throughout the day, you know, they obviously trying to look for certain patterns, and that was a way in which they were able to find happiness. I believe the study had concluded that people were happiest when they were in like a flow state. They were doing something that made time go by the quickest. Okay. That's what this study was showing, that people are happiest in general if you're looking for a type of occasion. Okay. When they're doing something when their mind is turned off. Okay. Like if you're at a shoot and you're doing video work and you're just so into it, you know, you're following your rules of thirds and your composition, you're switching out batteries in and out, and you're moving the lights around, getting the exact scene and shadow work you need, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden 6 hours later you didn't even realize it. Like those 6 hours you're actually really happy, and that's why time was going by so fast.
Right.
So you could use the text message 1 to 5 option to track your happiness.
It's interesting.
If I text
that's interesting because I like today, I'm extremely happy. Right? I'm happy to be here right now. But 4 hours ago, if we would have used that method, I would have responded with a 1, right? Because I was very upset at that moment with everything that was going on. Right? Things were late. It's without digging deeper, things weren't going that well. At 5:00 today.
Sure.
But that doesn't define how happy I was overall with the day. Once the day came through, I was ecstatic, dude. I'm stoked, right? I think things are going great, and just because there's lows, and I don't think that's a great measure, at least for me.
No, that's fine.
Just because my day's pretty crazy, right? Because I'm always I'm always overloading myself. I always try to find any available time that I have, at least right now, 31-year-old Hector, anytime I have, I feel like any open or available time that exists on my schedule is a time to get better. You know, whether that's learn something new, improve something, et cetera, et cetera.
I felt that way a lot recently too. Do you ever feel like though that in itself like gets to be too much, or like it's just kind of a rat race thing with yourself?
Not yet.
As opposed to chasing a Porsche, you're chasing like this never-ending perfect version of yourself where you keep evolving.
Not yet, because I'm easily distracted. I can one day say, "Hey, I want to learn Mandarin for the next 30 days," and 20 days in, I'm learning,
Welsh.
Exactly. So because now we're going to Thailand, so it's like, okay, now I have to set up a schedule to work on my Thai, because I don't want to visit another country and go there only with my English and my Spanish and my Ukrainian, so.
Of course, you're English, Spanish, and Ukrainian.
Right.
Tell me, do you have that feeling though? If you're gonna go visit another country, you have to be able to speak some of the mother tongue.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's just a whole part of the experience, right?
I agree with you. I've tried to ease off that in like my adult years because I feel like it's extremely overwhelming to me. Okay. I understand the respect behind it, and I want to do that too. Like that's aspirational for me. But I also find it extremely scary. Okay. And it makes me feel like I can't travel places.
Right. Now I'm not getting deep and learning how to write in whatever language I'm trying to learn, but they're common phrases, 30 to 40 common phrases.
Shit.
That
30 to 40
that I might use. Can I fly my drone here? How much to fly my drone here?
Okay, this makes more sense.
I have my drone in my backpack.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know much Chinese, but I know enough, for you not to
Okay, I forgot you have to talk yourself out of these drone hot waters.
So
you're constantly.
I try to prep to not get taken advantage of as well, so.
Yeah, you need to learn how to say, I'm sorry, Mr. Policeman, in every language. You're like, please forgive me, I'm from America.
See, right.
I'm just a tourist.
Oh, man.
You got the drone thing going. Let's talk about that a little bit.
The drone thing,
man. You've had a few hard drone years.
It's been a while. I started, outside of the salon work that I mentioned, I started traveling a lot when I was 23. With the girl,
You mean you were hanging off a drone, like he was taking you places?
No. I wish
you had a military grade drone to fly you around places when you were 23.
I wish the drones that I'm able to afford had a payload of 200 pounds, but no, I was traveling a lot, just domestically, just visiting. Yeah. I got into this national park craze, and the drone became an essential part of my carry-on, so.
That's right, and you were doing national parks before the park system caught on to drones, and before they started posting signs and shit.
Before, during, and after. And
You've been there for every stage of it.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah, it was interesting, fun, safe, not so safe, stupid at times.
Sure.
But nonetheless, the footage was always worth it.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
So, yeah.
You lost some drones along the way, though. You had that whole thing.
I'm on my 4th drone. I'm on number 4. This is number 4.
Shit.
Yeah.
Is there like a burn rate you should expect if you're going to use a drone every weekend? Like, is it just like a drone every year? A drone every 2 years if you're using it often enough? Like, are you just going to lose it?
It depends. It depends how you're flying. Like me, if I have my drone and I'm traveling a lot, I'm taking it with me everywhere and flying it any opportunity that I have, But I have a buddy who's had his drone for the last 4 years, and I go, I have no idea how you've kept it that long, but he doesn't fly it enough,
right?
So I guess it just depends on the pilot, So,
how risky?
But I, whenever people ask me, which, everyone wants to go out there and get the most expensive drone on the market, as their first drone, and I go, dude.
Hanging off a 200-pound payload.
I go, you can do that, but just expect, if you're going to be flying it, expect to crash it or lose it.
Although, in thinking about my own desire to own a drone, I've considered that it actually makes sense to get an expensive one just because it has extra safety features.
I agree.
Right? Like it's harder to run into trees and people based on the sensors that are above and below the thing to the side.
Right.
Like in some ways it's better for a novice to have one of these teched out drones because it's sort of idiot proof.
Correct.
Or more idiot proof than some sort of killing machine.
Correct.
I would guess $100 drone you can get anywhere.
Right. And I think DJI, they're the
sponsor of the show.
Right.
Major sponsor of the show.
Make sure you swipe up promo code James's Garage for 20%. Right?
Yeah. James's Smith Grattan Spark is the promo code you can type in for 0.5% off.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible negotiator, everyone. Sorry. Awful negotiation skills.
No, they've done a good job of sharing those specs on all of their drones. So they're more expensive prosumer drones to their like entry level. I think they're down to like a DJI Tello, which is like I think they market it towards like teenagers. It's like a $250 drone.
Drunk uncles.
And I think they all have those sensors now. So.
Okay, so there's a lot of safety built into most of them.
Yeah, but you know what though? As much
Tell
as,
us.
I'm
a drone noob.
As much as those sensors save you, I mean, there's still. I mean, the first drone I lost was just. It definitely had a lot to do with obviously my inexperience, right? I didn't fly. The first time I had flown the drone was the day before that. You know, I took it out with an old friend of ours, Angel, who was the reason why I purchased a drone, right? Because he had been using drones even before me. You know? So
you saw how amazing it was,
right? I'm
like, give me a piece of this action,
right? Let me get in there. You know, so I buy this like it was like a $900 drone. It was like a DJI Phantom 3, and that's how late I got into that game. So I
sure.
So I pick up this drone.
I don't know.
We're shooting at the beach, so it's summertime. Shooting one of my Instagram friends, who's now like one of my best friends, by the way.
Keep that.
What's that?
Keep the cup.
Okay.
In case it's scratching. We're gonna have that DJ sound.
My apologies. Right.
There's coffee everywhere. Oops. No, but you got out there and you were kind of headstrong with it. You just saw someone else have a really good time with their drone.
Yeah.
You wanted to go buck wild with yours.
Wanted to go nuts.
And so you crashed it over like a body of water or the woods or what?
Felt like, I did the classic YouTube training, went online, saw a couple videos and
got your YouTube license.
Up, down, left, right. How hard can this be? And at that time, I think there wasn't Autoland, and if there was, I didn't know how to use it, right? And I didn't know it existed, right? So landing the drone, right? You'd come straight down, and you'd have to turn the props in 45 degrees at the same time, so with both joysticks, right?
God. Okay. To point them at each other
to stop the propellers, right? But at the same time, if your drone's in the air, right, that means you're signaling your drone to move, right, directionally. So long story medium length, Hector's on a rooftop the next day, right? And I'm there with two friends, the export guy, okay?
Nice.
Ryan.
Nice.
I'm there with Mr. Export.
Dude loves drones, man. Loves protein shakes, drones. Good guy.
We're still in Lakeview.
Good guy. Still in Lakeview.
We're shooting a model, a hair shoot, right? And she was, she was like a real model, right? She's done some like commercial work. So I was like super, man, I was just super out of my league at that point, right? Like I didn't know what I was doing, but nonetheless, here I am flying this drone on this rooftop in Lakeview, trying to land it without embarrassing myself. And sure enough, I turned both props in and the drone fell off the side of the roof. It tried to, instead of landing, it tried to like skid across. It skidded across the rooftop and it just went straight down.
Oh God, your drone committed suicide.
And export Ryan, I think on his Snapchat still has. I forgot the name of the model, but she asked me as I lifted. And at this point, drones. I mean, they were out there, but they weren't as popular as they are now. And she was. When you see people see a drone, they rush up to you and they ask you a million questions.
Is that a drone?
Does it have a camera? How much does it cost? Can I fly it? Right? Those are the
I was hoping you would say it because you told me this before.
The first one, so funny. So
I've seen people do this to you too. The one time we took it out.
But the first question she asked me was, "Have you ever crashed it?" And I go, "Crashed it."
Wait, this is before you crashed it.
This is like seconds before I crashed it. She goes, "Have you ever?"
Fucking seeded you, man. She made you crash it.
That's right. Her power is a lot stronger than mine. Right. Her dark force. She's part of the dark side. Right. She's a Palpatine. So her power was incredible.
My
so
God.
digging a bit deeper.
Okay.
Right. So she was. So yeah.
You weren't wearing your crystal that day.
That's right. Absolutely. My mom did not pray that hard that morning. So.
Got to get you a crystal drone.
That's right.
Or a drone crystal.
Right.
Has your mom seen you wearing these crystals, by the way?
She has.
Seen you rock one?
She has.
Does she
and now
it?
all my friends rock them.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. She hands them out. For Halloween. Not kidding. I am not kidding.
So she gives them out for birthdays, New Year's, Halloween.
Any opportunity she has. If she's
how about Valentine's
if she
Day?
sees a positive person that she likes, that she feels can benefit from them, she will definitely introduce them.
Easter.
Anything. Yeah.
Do you think there's any intersection of like religious people, Catholics, that have like crucifix crystals, that have like cross crystals, that are mixing like Christian type stuff with New Age or crystal work? And maybe they have like, or even like a rosary made of crystal beads or something.
I would
like
not be surprised.
It's got to be somewhere, right?
I would, yeah, absolutely.
And if not,
is it hypocritical? The beliefs? I mean,
I don't know.
What someone, at least.
I heard crystals were going out on Halloween, so that's it's kind of maybe demons are running these crystals.
Yeah.
Maybe the crystal things. Maybe it is hypocritical. You guys, your DJ scratching that coffee cup again.
I apologize. I'm nervous. I start fidgeting.
No, it's fine. We were in the middle of your your DJI and your drone escapades.
Right.
So the first one was off a building.
The first one was off
which
a building.
Which is not great. And
right. Off a building.
Second one.
Couldn't recover it. I tried. I remember it was
so wait, it hit the ground. Did you just like go pick up the tattered pieces or
no,
like?
So it ran off.
Fly the skeleton back to you.
So he lived in one of those like 100-unit buildings in Lakeview, right? Off like Patterson and Broadway. And it landed into like the yard area of another like 100-unit building. So at that first I was just beat. The drone crash. It's the second day I had it. I'm embarrassed, beyond belief. Right?
Yeah, how embarrassed,
So we had to finish the shoot. Like the sun's going down. Right, so I have no light. So I think we finished the shoot. I put the remote in my backpack. I'm like, all right, this will go in the graveyard. Right at that point, I said, I'll create after I cried inside for a bit. I was like, okay, I'll create a drone graveyard.
Time out. So you had to finish this shoot on top of the roof after fucking crashing your drone?
Yes.
Without even going to look at the body of the drone?
No, I mean, I didn't even, as soon as it went down, I'm just like, I'm not going to pick that up. I'm like, it's done. It's destroyed. The gimbal's gone. I'm like, I was just so like I didn't even want to see it. I was just so sick. I'm like, how could this happen? I was just disappointed in myself. I just didn't even want to think about it. I'm like, you know what? At least let's get through this shoot, right?
Right.
Because then it would have been for nothing. So,
well, how long did you have to go through the shoot after that?
I think it was a painful hour and a half or something.
Oh my god!
Just embarrassing, right?
You said you had to like gather yourself, collect yourself.
Right?
Did you like take a minute for real? Like walk off? Like just got some smoke in my eye.
No,
Give me a second, guys.
No, I think the model like pulled out a joint and was like,
no shit.
No, anyway, I was like, and she definitely like eased us back into the shoot because we were all pretty beat about it because we were like, oh my god, like I said, drones, they were around but they weren't as popular, especially in like the low budget stuff that we were doing, so it was going to be super cool. And
right,
it was a really cool shot, at least that we had planned, so
this is a great model though. She's bringing joints to the shoot.
Right, she was great. So she brought a joint, and then she's like, let's go, and she like after the shoot, she's like, let's just go get some tacos and margaritas. She's like, fuck the drone, and I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. Fuck the drone.
Luckily, you had a model there to console you, right. get tacos for you, and give you a joint, get you high.
That's right.
She was fucking trying to chill out after this drone catastrophe. It's pretty much best case scenario when you fuck your drone up.
Yeah, it was great. So that was
all in all, pretty good day.
That was number one, Joe. Number one, I think.
And then probably 3 days before you ordered another one, right? Like, how long did it take you to jump back in the drone game?
I was going to San Diego, I think, like 2 weeks after that. So I had and I had planned the trip with my dad, and I think we were gonna hit like 2 or 3 state parks. And I think that was the reason why I had bought. Like I mentioned, I had just bought that drone.
God damn it!
So I think that was. So I'm like, okay, I need to get another drone. And at that point, I couldn't get the same drone. Like I need to upgrade. So I went from the $1,000 drone to like the $1,500 or whatever it cost.
Do you feel like you needed to upgrade to justify buying another one?
Absolutely.
I wonder how many other things we do that for in life. Yeah. Like you fucked the first thing up. It's like I gotta go bigger the second time around.
Right.
There's got to be some
or smaller in some cases, right?
Like what?
For that like a vehicle. Okay.
Oh, if you like crash a car,
you crash a car,
and you're like, well, that was my shot.
That was it. Not gonna do that. Don't want to dig into that story, but
okay, I got you. So it depends how big it is.
Correct.
It could be too big.
Right.
Like if I don't know, a watch or something. You get an expensive watch.
You know what?
Did
I really need that watch? Am I gonna go through that again, or is it worth going through that again?
But the drone thing, you kicked it up higher.
I kicked it up higher.
That's understandable. I mean, plus the technology is changing so much.
I didn't even get the chance to fly.
Yeah.
So
you got no time with the
So yeah, I bought one.
So tell me
weeks.
the second one lasted through the vacation.
What happened? Yeah, it lasted through the vacation. How did I lose the second one? Was the second one?
Left it at the
Oh,
airport.
that's right. No. The second one, I'm with my sisters, and for some reason we're by the Riverwalk. It's me, Michelle, and Evelyn. So my 2 older sisters.
Mm-hmm.
We're by the Riverwalk. They had never seen a drone. They had never flown a drone. We have a great shot. I think we're probably like a block off the lake. Like we're right off the lake, and I'm like, oh my god, we're right on the Riverwalk. I'm like, oh my god, this would be a great pull away shot. So starting the drone directly in front of us, pulling away, revealing our beautiful skyline was the proposed shot. So we set the drone up, answer the drone questions to the.
How much was it? Can I fly?
Right. There was a lot of those. And man, I take off, and super unsafe. You don't want to take off in saturated areas like that for a dozen reasons, right?
This is like downtown Chicago.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're gonna. First of all, I think the connectivity was not safe. I think you need to have.
Oh, it's almost like cell signal.
Yeah,
if it's a crazy area, it's hard to get the.
Yeah, you want to have. And it's been a while, but I think you want to have like 8 bars of 8, and that's how DJI measures it, or this specific drone, right? I think it was like
bars.
8 bars.
I'll take a fucking call on 1 bar.
eight. You want to have a good strength between connection between your remote.
I can see that.
And the
yeah,
drone.
That makes sense.
And I think 8 was like a measure to say, hey, it's safe to fly after.
Sure.
Or whatever I didn't have it. Nonetheless, I didn't have 8.
Only in 7.5 bars.
Whatever it was, and all the DJI guys are gonna kill me right in the comments. This guy doesn't fly drones.
It's 9 bars, bro.
Are you kidding me? Bars.
It's 9 bars. It's sticks. We call them sticks. 9 sticks.
9 sticks. But whatever. I shouldn't have been flying for that reason. I mean, you shouldn't be flying in the city where there's people and you can crash and you can hurt somebody in a building. There's just I shouldn't. It's windy outside. Just like the absolute worst case scenario to fly. So nonetheless, Hector flies, right?
Of course.
I take off.
Gotta get it.
And I think it was like, I'd say 45 seconds before I realized that the drone was like unresponsive to the remote, so like I think I pulled it back 50 to 100 yards and I just lost control. So I can see it, and I can see the Ferris wheel at Navy Pier in the background, and I see the drone drifting towards it, and I'm just freaking out. So at that point I'm like, I think I had a backpack with like my gear and with like a camera and some other stuff. So I like gave that to my sister. I'm like, okay, I'm grabbing this remote and I'm sprinting as close as I can towards the drone.
Hell yeah.
So
fight for it.
Right, because the drone was like over Lakeshore Drive at this point, just kind of hovering, drifting, because it's just trying to find connection. And so I start running, I start sprinting, and I see it in between buildings, and before I don't know, it'd be a couple minutes through, I lost it, and that was the end of the story. So.
You see it hit the Ferris wheel.
No.
Knock it off its axis.
Wheels
into Lake Michigan.
I'm looking around. I'm running towards, I saw a couple cops in the street, and I ran up to them. You guys get any crazy reports of any drones like crash landing or anything?
You're sweating with a drone.
It's not me if you did.
You're sweating with a drone remote in your hand.
Man, it's a terrible.
Hey, this fucking guy he just ran by and he was asking if anyone saw his drone.
It's a terrible feeling. The remote's beeping. Like every 10 seconds to let you know.
Oh, it's awful, man.
You got another one coming to the grave. So
yeah,
that was number 2.
Actually, I remember when we were younger, we used to light fireworks at the park
all the time.
And once a firework went sideways toward people, and it got super close to people, and we like tripped out.
Yeah, that's
it's so dangerous.
Super dangerous.
Something that just seems like a fun, exciting thing. All of a sudden is like, oh yeah, this is a weapon. This could like seriously hurt somebody.
Yeah,
I've heard so many of those stories, especially like drones. Someone trying to land it on their hand, or just trying to touch it while it was landing, trying to like support it. They thought it was gonna fall over, and then slicing up their fingers.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts, man.
That shit
it hurts. So
it's rough.
So get your experience. Go in the field. I know it's boring and nobody wants to do it, and everyone wants to go out and everyone wants to fly it over the Grand Canyon or in Iceland. But dude, go to the park and fly it around. You'd be surprised that it's not as easy as it looks. You got to take into consideration, the wind and the back kick. And
I think we were talking about if I ever wanted to purchase a drone, I was telling you how I was waiting until they have indoor drones. They can like follow you around the house.
Right.
Like that's my end game.
And they exist now.
Right? You have an indoor one. You have the Spark.
Yeah, the DJI Spark.
Yeah. Another DJI.
Right.
Send us some money.
Right.
DJI.
Swipe up.
Swipe up for more.
Right.
No, but you have the indoor one. But I'm talking like it can hover above you 2-3 feet. It can maybe bring a beer from the fridge for you. Shit like that.
Okay. Nice.
Not that I even drink beer from the fridge. I would want like a Coke from the something. I mean,
the tech's out there, right? I mean, I forgot I don't know what brand that is, but they started that first unmanned drone. I think Casey talked about it 2 years ago, and it was pretty good. I was super impressed. He took it through a really tough test. I think he was riding his bike or a scooter through some park in New Jersey. I think it's I forgot the name of that park is. Nonetheless, there's trees, there's branches.
It was staying with him, right?
There's people. I'm sorry.
It was staying with him.
It did a phenomenal job. So super impressed.
Once I get a drone butler inside my house.
Right.
Actually, on this podcast, I've often been coming up with ludicrous business plans.
Okay.
Or business ventures.
Okay.
So if we were going to start a drone business for indoor swarms of drones, what do you think we could do? I mentioned, the beer can delivery. That's the oldest trick of the book. We need to be more inventive than that, innovative.
Ooh.
I'm thinking maybe the drones can help hang your Christmas lights. Maybe the drones can act as an essential oil diffuser. Go throughout your house, spray lavender at certain times of day.
Right.
What else can they do?
Ooh, I foresee an Alexa hybrid drone in the future, right? I mean,
yeah.
Alexa, bring me, bring me whatever it is that you want her to bring you.
Oh, the commands. Yeah, no, definitely that's got to be part of it.
So,
got to be a major part of it. Because I'm not going to use some convoluted app to talk to this drone.
Right.
It just got to listen to me.
Right.
Be like, yonder. And have that thing head straight over. Otherwise it's probably not going to be worth the time and effort.
Yeah, that'll be great.
In time, I'll be patient with the drone technology. They'll get there eventually. Right. I had a big trip to Nepal. I almost bought a drone for. That's when I was majorly looking in the market.
Okay.
Going to a totally new landscape, new country. Love to capture things. Especially where I was being in Kathmandu, the area changing so rapidly, developing so quickly.
Right.
I knew that even if I was back there in a year or two, that it was never going to be quite the same.
Right.
They had a certain lay of the land now.
Right.
It's going to be filled with concrete and people.
You got to start posting all your footage. You have a ton of stuff.
I need to.
I'm always looking forward to see, because I know you were in Peru.
Yeah.
Maybe last year. Was it last year?
Yeah, 2018. So now it's 2 years ago technically, but that was my last big trip before this last one in Nepal. I don't post a lot of stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to be better about that. The podcast has actually been amazing for that.
Okay.
For a variety of reasons. Part of it is just wanting to live an offline life, I think. Offline life to some degree. But now I feel like I definitely have more room for me to, share with people, to connect. I think posting is one of those things that people can take it or leave it. Obviously, no one has to follow you or see what you're putting out there. It can be nice, if you're only posting your good ideas or your favorite recommendations, restaurants. It can be a resource for people.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily have to be some sort of narcissistic image crafted thing.
Right.
I'm always a little wary, I don't want to come off like a dickhead or make it seem like I'm bragging by traveling or something.
No, you're just.
I don't know. It's the most basic thing in the world. Everyone posts their travel photos.
Right. I agree.
In many of them.
Right.
But just in general, I don't know. Got to work on posting. I go in waves. Sometimes I'll post multiple days in a row, and then I won't post for
posting. How about sharing? Let's use the word sharing, right?
Yeah, that's more appropriate.
Because I'd like to see because I might see something that you saw in Peru, and that might push me to you're boosting tourism in Peru, by sharing your wonderful adventure. Your
No, actually, that's useful to think about. I've considered how actually not sharing stuff or sharing stuff but then not tagging it well or not integrating it well enough for a network. You're kind of being selfish in a way because then it's just for you.
Right.
It's just for how it affects the people immediately around you. It's not easy for other people to take advantage of it.
Right.
Because if you think something's cool, vote for it with a post, right? With a share, as you want me to say.
Right.
Do you ever go in waves where you share more often, you share less often? How are you driven by that? There's not a sharing crystal, is there, that you can put on? You got it's like a
mom.
It's like a red heart or like a play button.
I'm sure she has a sharing crystal box. Right now, I'm just,
Do you go in waves?
Uh,
Sharing season, not sharing season.
I do go in waves.
Kind of based on the weather and some obvious shit, right? To some degree, like if it's summer and you got outdoor stuff you're doing, drone stuff, versus the cold, bitter winter.
It's just mood, timing, and like right now I'm at the point where I'm just hoarding a ton of stuff and trying to organize. I just lost a big external drive with a ton of footage. So God. Getting over that mentally, right now I'm just kind of beat up about that, so I don't really want to post.
Did you have the external drive plugged into a drone that you were flying off a building, or?
I tried to land the external drive. It's in the freezer right now.
I gotta get this this SSD down to my car, but there's no way I'm doing these stairs. Let me just try to fish it down here quickly. Give it a quick send.
Man, just always back up your data as much as you can.
I try to. I have 2 backups of my data.
Yeah.
One at my house and one at a separate location in case there's a fire.
It's a must.
Something.
It's a must, and have it third on the cloud or somewhere or something. So.
Oh, cloud, yeah, that'd be too crazy. Yeah, so that'd be too difficult.
It's tough. It sucks, but
you're gonna lose some stuff. One thing I've been trying to follow more is take more photos, but keep less photos. Take more, plenty, but don't keep them all. My God, ends up creating some ridiculous haystack.
You take them all and then you store them, throw them in a file, and then you kind of never get to them because you're busy on your next adventure.
That's the other reason it's hard for me to share stuff, is because it's like, what do I share? Because I do generate a lot.
Right.
So it's hard to decide, what's something that meets that threshold that feels worth it to share with people. But there's all sorts of different methods now. It's not just like normal post. There's like stories and things of varying seriousness that you could post on.
Right.
But you're pretty much Instagram mainly at this point, right? Like you don't YouTube or anything like that?
Yeah, no YouTube, no Twitter.
Or Snapchat.
I created a TikTok, but I don't know how to use it, so.
You dipped into the TikTok waters?
Yeah, my sister, so I have a stepsister in Nevada. She was on TikTok the whole time I was there, and she kind of forced me. She's like, "Come on, Hector." She goes, "You need to get with it," because at that point, TikTok to me was just some spam that I'd have to watch for spam advertising that I had to watch for 5 seconds before I got to watch my YouTube video.
Right.
But apparently, TikTok's the new wave, right? The new platform, or the most trending thing or platform right now. So,
yeah.
But it's funny that everyone is sharing their TikTok stuff on Instagram.
No, it's a fad.
Right, because I believe so. But,
yeah, it's a fun medium.
But what do I know? I'm not on TikTok making funny videos. So.
Were you on Vine?
Right.
Or one of its predecessors?
No.
One of the things that ended up being the same thing, like flash in the pan type, fun in the moment. Obviously gives you an opportunity to show some new tools.
Right. It's cool to see everyone enjoying themselves creating videos, though.
It's music based, right?
Like, it's music based, but now it's like, man, it's like I said, everyone's having fun, like just kind of putting these editing their videos,
short stories,
right? And at least a lot of the small people I'm around, a lot the small people that I'm around on the internet, right, are influencers, or they're pushing content out. So it's fun to see them using it and utilizing it to its max. So.
No, absolutely, and some people are going to see it in a certain light. Other people are going to see it in another. Means different things to different people too. Like we're talking, sort of seriously about creating things or sharing things. I think the people that are on TikTok probably aren't taking it as seriously. Some are. I'm not saying you're not. Right. Obviously, everything means something different to everyone else, but I think by and large, it's not meant to necessarily be so intensive.
Right.
Right. I mean, I have 3 cameras for what we're doing right now. We're just having a conversation.
Right.
Which is ridiculous.
Right.
In fact, there's more cameras in this room than people.
I don't think so. I think we could use another camera.
We could. Where would the next one be, actually? Because I need your video eye.
So right now we have
one on each of us.
We have a close up, and then we have another one here. So I think we'd definitely have another. I would say another one with both of us in the shot.
Okay.
So another, maybe a tighter shot of both of us.
Tighter shot of both of us.
Both of us.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So, or just the room. I think you got to showcase this room because this room is awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe one in the corner that still has both of us in the frame. So I'd put one up in that corner over there, just to get that, so everyone can see.
I actually
what's going on in here.
Yeah, I have a security camera in this room that's like pointed toward the door. I should just get a second security camera.
Okay.
And just use that as like the extra footage, the room cam.
It's a must. It's a must.
That's going to be the long term.
It's like slowly panning in and out. You can,
It'll be funny if it has that like security camera look too. You know, if that's
and if it doesn't, we'll just add, you know, in the lower left-hand corner, we'll write like cam 1, right? put the date, you know.
No, that's right. CCTV.
Right,
I'll try to
right.
give it some sort of cheesy in-home security system look.
Right.
Well, good ideas for next.
Monotone and, you know,
Yes,
you know,
black and white,
right,
for sure.
so,
Well, all good ideas for next time. We put in our hour.
yeah.
Thank you for having the talk with me.
Wow. Yeah, no,
We
that
got through it. It flew,
wow,
right?
That flew by. Wow.
Like a drone.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is awesome. And I
Obviously-
look forward to our next show.
Yeah, we'll be doing it
Yeah,
again.
So,
Until next time, Hector.
absolutely.
And everyone else, goodbye.
Peace.